John's life had taken a turn for the worse, and he found himself in a dark place. He couldn't help but feel like a failure, and it seemed like everything he touched turned to dust. The loss of his job in finance had hit him hard, as he had put so much of himself into his work. His pride had taken a beating, and he struggled to accept that he had failed in his chosen career path. The stress of his financial situation had put a strain on his relationship with his wife. They had always been so in love, but now they seemed to be constantly at each other's throats. Money had become the driving force behind their arguments, and they couldn't seem to find a way out of the cycle of debt and frustration. As the arguments became more frequent and more heated, John's wife decided to leave him. She took the children with her, and John found himself alone in their apartment. The silence was deafening, and the emptiness of the rooms was overwhelming. With no job and no family to turn to, John fell into a deep depression. He stopped taking care of himself and stopped leaving the apartment. The days blurred into one another, and he found himself spending most of his time sleeping or staring at the walls. It seemed like there was no way out of his situation. He had lost everything that was important to him, and he couldn't see a future for himself. The darkness closed in around him, and he couldn't escape its grasp. But then, one day, something changed. John woke up with a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in a long time. He couldn't explain it, but he felt like there was something he needed to do. He got out of bed, took a shower, and put on clean clothes for the first time in weeks. He went for a walk in the park, and for the first time in a long time, he felt like he was part of the world again. He saw the beauty in the trees and the flowers, and he felt a sense of peace that he had thought was lost to him forever. John realized that he had been given a second chance. He had hit rock bottom, but now he had the opportunity to rebuild his life from the ground up. He started looking for work, and he found a job as a clerk at a local store. It wasn't his dream job, but it was a start. He started going to therapy to deal with his depression, and he found a support group for people who had gone through similar struggles. He made new friends, and he realized that he wasn't alone in his pain. With time, John started to see that life was worth living for, no matter how difficult it was at times. He found joy in the little things, like a sunny day or a good book. He started to take care of himself again, and he began to see a future for himself. John's life wasn't perfect, and he still struggled with money and relationships. But he knew that he had been given a second chance, and he wasn't going to waste it. He knew that no matter what happened, he could find the strength to keep going.